Hello, Fiona.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Fine.
Good,
I
good.
might sneeze. I'm a bit sneezy. I've been dusting. Sorry.
Well, you're looking very green and I'm very white and très chic today.
Well, I'm just stripy. But I've got green tea.
Oh, nice. I have no tea. It's
Oh,
too
you
hot
have
for
no
tea.
tea. Oh, I got green tea.
So I have
Green and ginger. Or green tea with ginger.
I have water in
Well,
a beer glass.
I've got your little friend.
Awesome. Okay, so today we are revisiting a topic which we did, hang on, in episode number 5.
Yep.
We did
And
AI, a storm in a teacup.
which was. And then today, as I've just mentioned, tea's little friend in my teacup. We talk about another friend in a teacup.
Yes, yeah. Today we're going to look at the positives generally of how AI can be a useful tool in the classroom.
Yes, which is something you see more clearly than I do because I'm further towards the not so positive end of the scale.
I'm definitely on the side of it shouldn't replace us, and it won't replace us, I don't think. But I
No,
think
no,
that
it's a
there are
tool.
ways, yeah, there are ways that it can be a useful tool, just like many other things are. Yep, yep.
Yes,
Okay.
but I mean, my issue with it at the moment is the ethics.
Hmm. Hmm.
If and when it becomes more ethical, environmentally friendly, and so on and so forth. I'm wearing green, okay? Um, then I might consider it. But
Hmm.
I'm IATEFL and lots of webinars and stuff at the moment are trying to encourage people that yes, AI well, like you just said, is a useful tool. Yeah, but I mean there are entire countries that don't have any water. There's people dying of water and the amount of water that takes. So I
Yeah.
am going to pass the baton to you.
Judicious use of AI, I think, is the
This
key.
is it. That's what I mean. At the moment, I don't see that there is a particularly
Hmm.
judicious use because of the environmental
Hmm.
elements. However, we all use AI, even if unintentionally.
Hmm.
Now, like the other day, I put something in Google and it came up with a answer, and I sort of glanced at it and noticed that at the bottom said something like, uh, "Please note, this is not a doctor. This is AI. There may be mistakes or something to that effect." And I wasn't consulting anything major. I can't remember what it was, but.
Well, so this is
Mm.
this is one of the ways that I think AI is a useful tool in that it provides, so not necessarily for the doctor side of things, but it can provide a much faster, more concise answer than just looking for something on a search engine. However, it helps if you know that the answer you're getting, if you can then look at the answer that you're getting and assess or evaluate the validity of it. But for example, for me, so I'm preparing a grammar session at the moment on avoiding repetition. And I've got piles of grammar books. I can flick through them and kind of I can pull things from different resources. I can go to a search engine and I can come up with, 10,000 different websites. But if I go to AI and I say I'm doing a session on X, it will give me much more concise information much more quickly. And I think that's
Yeah.
one way
I mean,
it's
you're talking about
useful.
generative AI here because AI is everything, all sorts of
Yeah.
AI. The Merlin app in my phone for
Yeah,
identifying
for the
birdsong is
birds.
AI, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
So hey,
different
yeah.
thing.
So
But
we're
yeah,
thinking
generative
here
AI.
about generative AI. Yep. Yep. So I think that's one. I've tried to think of five, and I have managed to think of 5 ways that it's useful.
Right. Go on now.
Okay, so second one,
Uh-huh.
uh, again, thinking about the students, I think it can be very useful for them if they want to proofread their work, as long as they engage with the results. I think there are lots of students, lots of learners, lots of humans out there who will type something into AI or, say, I've got this text, can you polish it for me? And then just take the product without actually then going, okay, oh, so why did they use that word? Oh, okay, so I had that grammar wrong. But I do have a lot of students who are using it in a way that supports their learning because, they'll give me a text and they'll highlight where AI suggested another word or where it corrected their grammar.
And so for grammar, are you recommending ChatGPT or are you recommending Grammarly,
Well, so
which are different
Grammarly,
types of AI?
yeah, yeah. So I don't, would Grammarly polish things or would it just identify where there are errors?
It's certainly correct, much like a teacher does.
Hmm.
I know quite a few people with dyslexia or similar learning difficulties, you know what I mean? People
Learning
who,
differences.
yes, I know, but I don't actually mean learning differences. I mean people who are less confident,
Hmm.
should we say, native speakers who are less confident about their English level, which, I mean, let's face it, we're English teachers, we're lucky in that sense. And when they have to write something formal, or I do creative writing, even people doing creative writing who are slightly less confident, they'll often stick their stuff through Grammarly
Hmm.
to find
Hmm.
errors. So that's why, I mean, learning difficulties, I'm not specifically referring to um, send categories there, just the sort of general
Hmm.
uncertainty about. Um, and it is definitely used for that. I mean, there's a lot of writing competitions that absolutely prohibit the use of generative, obviously, and you will be banned from the competitions forevermore
Hmm.
if you use it, or if you're detected as using it, I guess. But Grammarly is permitted
Yeah.
because Grammarly is much the same as the little red squiggly lines.
Yeah, the spell check on
Exactly,
yeah,
yeah. And
on
the
Word,
red and
yeah.
the blue one where you're going, huh? No, don't mean that. But
Hmm.
yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I guess then there would be two ways. So either encouraging the learners to use a spell checker, but I think as then they still need to engage with the results.
Yeah, this is it.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think how you could effectively do that. You'd have to get them to highlight the words that were, if you're
Yeah, I
doing
mean
print
that's
out
what they
already.
do. Because
Yeah.
I'm digital, so they send things through to me with kind of little strips of yellow where AI gave them a suggestion or a correction. And I think that's really good then, because then, I mean, these are good students. These are not just because they're adults. I've got a couple of teens as well who are very dedicated and would
I was going to
would
say, I
do the
think
same.
some of the older teams particularly would respond to that because
Yeah,
it's a trust thing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If you show that you're
exactly.
trusting them to tell you which bits they got,
Yeah,
then yeah.
cool. Okay, okay. So a third use.
Three, yes.
Okay, so sticking with from a student's perspective, I think that it can be very useful for supporting them with the grammar. And then it kind of works like a bit of a flipped classroom approach. They go away, they look at the grammar, they can ask Gen AI some very specific questions, perhaps in their first language that I would not be able to support them with because I have learners from Turkey and Poland and lots of languages that I don't speak, most languages that I don't speak. Um, and so I think that in that regard, it can help them to understand the grammar much more quickly. And then the time that we have together in class, we can use the grammar in a communicative way rather than spending time looking at the nitty-gritties and me going, oh, I don't, does this exist in Polish? Do you say the same? I mean, it's nice to learn about those sorts of things,
Be
but
nice to know if they have nitty gritty in Polish.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm a little bit, my mind is going, oh, so much screen time, but never mind. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, but this tends to be as well students that have taken the initiative to do it themselves.
yeah, plus, I mean, these are adults. We're not going to pile in going,
Yeah,
get off your screens.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably, it's a little bit anachronistic of me to suggest it in the first place. But I do like the idea of having a good grammar book in English because you've
Mhm,
got all there's sort of the potential for finding stuff that you didn't know was there. If you go on generative AI, yeah, AI, and you ask it, I don't know, how to use the present perfect correctly, that's all you get.
mhm.
Whereas if you pick up How English Works or Practical English Usage or Raymond Murphy or one of these, as you're looking for
Yeah,
present perfect section, you're getting other stuff.
yeah.
And you can dip in and out. You can, then there's a whole the haptics of it, the tactile element that, I remember at university, one of my French lecturers, poor guy, we used to laugh at him because he absolutely refused to speak French. He was the only one who refused to speak French to us for some reason. He was the only one who turned up in a gown as well. But he was capable of telling us, if we asked him any grammar question, he could tell us what page and what paragraph the answer was in. So, you could ask him anything, and we used to test him, poor sod,
Mhm,
and ask him really random questions, and he would say, "Oh yes, that's on page Ferrer," and that sort of capacity, I think, would be. I mean, I'm not suggesting that's what we should be doing, but I think that shows the power of using books
mhm,
because I'm sure in his mind he would have been going, you kind of, how far through the book? Where is it on the page? Toof, for
mhm.
these things. But, using screens, that doesn't happen. So I know it is an anachronism on my part to hope that people are going to buy a good grammar book. But I really do hope that they buy a good grammar book because it
Yeah.
is so much more supportive
Mhm, mhm.
of learning.
Yep.
But that said, realistically speaking, yes, AI is a useful tool in this sense because most people aren't going to be like me and fill the house with books.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I do always recommend the one that for my kind of B1-ish learners. Oh, little plug here for Kerry and John. Um, Practical Ram, that's the one I always recommend for them.
Mhm.
Um, and then kind of getting to higher levels, yeah, the other other books. There's a nice one. Hang on, another book. I quite like this series as well.
I can't see what that is.
Uh, First Certificate Language Practice by Michael Vince.
Oh,
And
yes,
that
of
kind of
course.
as well goes through things. They've got one for the advanced level as well.
Yes.
So they're good resources. Like you say as well, just that kind of flicking through and then you kind of look in the index or go, oh, and what's that? So yeah, good resources for our
Um,
students to have. Hmm.
yeah. And I'm just thinking, with high level students who've got that interest, the book is the way to go.
Hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, my context, the students are not, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. You have to ignore it somehow. These students are not going to buy books because, I mean, they go to the library, but, they're away from home. So, yeah, depending on your context. Yeah. Let's get
Hmm.
back to AI anyway.
Okay, okay, so two more uses, and these two are kind of linked. Well,
Hmm.
no, well, yeah, it's both back to writing again. So one way that I think it's useful for teachers, and I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, is providing a variety of models. So, for example, imagine the students are doing a review. You can say, okay, write a review of a science fiction film or a love story or a horror film or and it will generate those texts much more quickly than I could. I mean, I could do it. But if we're
Mm.
thinking about ways that we can save time as teachers, I think that's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
useful
There's
way.
that.
And then it offers students the choice to choose which text do you want to use as your model, what's your starting point going to be, rather than just everyone, we're writing about a love story, or here's the model with a love story.
Yeah, it would be worth pointing out to them that the text generated is purely a model. It's not necessarily correct. I
Mhm,
mean, the content, the
mhm.
information in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So
that's it. I might
I wouldn't
adapt
use it
it.
for CLIL type
Mhm.
situations where they want them to learn the content as well as the format
Yeah.
that you're presenting it in, because the chances, particularly something like a film review, the chances of it being inaccurate
Yeah.
are very high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like very high. Same with novels, book reviews.
Well,
I've
did
seen
you?
some shocking book reviews
There
through.
was last summer, there was a list of like the 15 books everybody should read this summer. And it was a list that was going around. I think it appeared in the New York Times or in some, renowned newspaper. And about eight of the books didn't exist because somebody had asked Gen AI to generate this list, and it had
Yeah.
created this list and invented eight of the books
Uh,
with kind of real authors and titles that sounded like they might have written them. Just kind of, taking what they knew about that author and the genre, and yeah, and just completely generated eight or so
yeah.
books.
No,
Yeah.
this is like at our book club recently, somebody showed me a Gen AI generated sorry, I'm gonna have to hang up again. I keep getting phone calls. Review about a novel called A
Mhm.
Place Called Winter. And in this novel called A Place Called Winter, if anybody's read it, there's this character who's really bad, right? He's the baddie, stalker, murderer, um, and this review had placed him as the love interest, as the main sort of love interest in the book. It's like, ah! You know, so I don't know what's going on, but I keep getting phone calls.
But so I think this is it. Uh, I can't remember, somebody else mentioned this to me. Oh, it was one of my students. He's into vibe coding, which is like using Gen AI to generate code for software. But he
Right.
said that only works if he, as a software engineer, can recognize whether the code it's producing is good. And so I think in the same way, anything that we ask Gen AI to produce, and this is a skill that we need to teach our learners as well, is what is the product? Is it valid? Is it true? Is it correct?
Yeah. But then how, just checking the stuff means they could have done the reading in the first place, if you see what I mean.
Well, that's true. That's true. And then perhaps through that, they realize that maybe it
Yeah.
isn't
I
always
mean,
such a time
yeah,
saver.
you could use these things as a spot the like exercise. So here's something I generated with AI. There are two factually incorrect things in it. Can you guess what they are?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah.
And there you are. There is a way in which it is useful.
Hmm.
Generating factually incorrect material for class.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think that, yeah, it's a good idea for kind of, like you were saying, for the CLIL perspective as well, getting people to engage with the material and then do the research and which
Yeah, yeah.
exercise through. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that could actually work, because if you actually said to students, I don't know, gave them some topic and say go away and generate and find or discover if the information you're giving is correct. They're having to get into it more deeply, and then they can bring the text to class and kind of swap around and say, this is the one I generated. I found two errors, or I found three errors, or I
Hmm.
found no errors, or
Mm.
in comparing the text and comparing and discussing using it, because that would actually process the content as well.
Yep.
They'd certainly remember because they'd been cleverer than AI.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when you find mistakes in course books back in the day.
Or still.
And well, yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nowadays they've probably been corrected using Grammarly.
Awesome. Well, we're almost out of time. So, very quickly, my last useful use for AI from a teacher's perspective is to feed in written work and look for frequent errors, which again, I think we can do as teachers. We're going to be reading through the texts anyway to correct them, but sometimes just, we might be aware of, oh, it seems like everybody is having problems with this. But there might be other things that Gen AI or AI picks up on that we miss. So again, time-saving tool. Here's 10 texts. What are some
Yeah, find out.
commonalities?
Yeah, actually, that's handy because otherwise, because it's easier to spot in one text, but if you do your marking in several sittings,
Hmm.
like I don't know, the amount of essays and the length of essays I have to mark, I cannot sit and mark them all at the same time, all in one sitting. So I have to do
Yeah.
it over maybe two, three, even four, depending. So then it's harder to keep it in your head unless you
Mm.
start making little notes, which is what I do, but then I don't remember the details, or I
Yeah.
have to make copious notes,
Yeah. Or
which is
you
just
kind
as
of
unwieldy.
jot down like articles, but were articles a big problem across everyone's texts? Or so yeah, it just gives you a bit more quantitative data, maybe.
Could probably possibly even generate a table as well.
Mhm. Very good. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've had quite a positive chat about AI in the end. So there are our
Yes. And
five
I do apologize for me
uses.
getting distracted.
That's one thing AI won't do. AI won't get distracted. There won't be any of that real humanness to it. It will just go boom.
There we go. Oh. Sorry,
Awesome.
I
Okay,
shouldn't have had my phone face up. I always have it face down. So sorry.
no worries, no worries. Well, we will be back again next week. See you
We
then.
will. And I didn't drink my tea.